Football is ruthless. One week you're celebrating, the next week you're a meme. Arsenal 2022-23, 248 days at the top of the table, an 8-point lead in April, and still walked away with nothing. Liverpool were 2 points away from ending a 24-year title drought, and one slip literally cost them everything. Dortmund literally printed the t-shirts and planned the parade before playing the game. Real Madrid from 2003-04 had a star-studded Galácticos squad and still couldn't close it out. Ajax had a 99% probability of winning the title with 5 games to go. And right now in the 2025-26 season, let's just say history has a funny way of repeating itself. Today we're counting down 5 of the most painful, most iconic title collapses football has ever seen. Full-on proper legendary bottle jobs. Let's get into it. This one is a proper classic. Real Madrid, 2003-04. The so-called Galácticos. Zinedine Zidane, David Beckham, freshly signed that summer from Manchester United. Ronaldo, Luis Figo, Raúl and Roberto Carlos. All 6 had finished in the top 2 of the Ballon d'Or voting at some point in the previous 4 years. By matchday 26, Madrid led La Liga by 8 points over Valencia. Ronaldo was the league's top scorer with 24 goals. The title defense was looking smooth. Then came the Champions League exit, knocked out in the quarterfinals by Monaco on away goals. The humiliating part? Fernando Morientes, a striker that Madrid had loaned out, scored against them in both legs. That mental blow was devastating. They returned to La Liga and immediately lost 3-0 at home to Osasuna. Then things went completely off the rails. Madrid lost their final 5 La Liga matches of the season, 5 consecutive defeats to close out the campaign. They went from leading La Liga to finishing 4th. Not 2nd, not 3rd, 4th. Behind Valencia, Barcelona, and Deportivo de La Coruña. Valencia, managed by Rafa Benitez, were crowned champions with 77 points. Madrid finished on 70. Coach Carlos Queiroz was fired the day after the season ended. The greatest collection of football talent at any club in that era. And they couldn't even finish in the top 3. They didn't just bottle it, they fell off an absolute cliff. This is probably the most famous collapse in Premier League history. Liverpool, 2013-14. Under Brendan Rodgers, they had built one of the most electric attacking sides the league had seen in years. Luis Suarez, Daniel Sturridge, and Steven Gerrard. This team was genuinely special. An 11-match winning run fired them to the top of the table. With 4 games left, after beating Man City 3-2, Gerrard brought his teammates together on the Anfield pitch and said the words that football will never let him forget. Football is cruel. On April 27, 2014, with Liverpool hosting Chelsea and the title within touching distance, Gerrard received a routine pass. His boot caught the turf, and he slipped. The ball rolled straight to Chelsea striker Demba Ba, who ran clean through and scored. Chelsea won 2-0. Liverpool then drew 3-3 against Crystal Palace after leading 3-0 in their very next game. Manchester City won their remaining fixtures and took the title. Liverpool finished second, just 2 points behind. Gerrard played 17 years for Liverpool and never won the Premier League. He wrote in his autobiography that the months following that slip were the worst of his life. He said he felt completely numb, that it still haunts him. One boot catches the turf, one moment, a title, a legacy, and a career's greatest regret all wrapped into a single unforgettable second at Anfield. This is possibly the most dramatic scenario you could ever construct in football. Borussia Dortmund, the final day of the 2022-23 Bundesliga season. Bayern Munich had won 10 consecutive Bundesliga titles, a full decade. Going into the last match day, Dortmund were 2 points clear at the top of the table. The club had already printed thousands of championship t-shirts. A victory parade had been planned for the following day, with a lot of fans expected to fill the streets of Dortmund. The Westfalenstadion could have been sold out 5 times over. All Dortmund needed was a single home win against Mainz. That was it. Instead, they went 2-0 down to Mainz inside just 24 minutes. Striker Sebastian Haller then missed a penalty. Marco Reus had a header from 6 yards out that somehow floated over the bar. They eventually drew 2-2. Meanwhile, at Cologne, Bayern were trailing 1-1 deep into stoppage time. Then Jamal Musiala picked up the ball, drove into the box, and curled a low strike into the far corner. 2-1 Bayern, title gone. Dortmund lost the Bundesliga championship on goal difference. Bayern won an 11th consecutive title. Dortmund got closer than they had in a decade and still left with nothing. This one is historically significant. And when I say historically, I mean it literally broke a record that had stood for 30 years. Ajax, 2024-25 Dutch Eredivisie season. After 13 wins in their previous 14 league games, Ajax were absolutely flying. On April 13th, after beating Willem II 2-1, they sat 9 points clear of PSV Eindhoven with just 5 games remaining in the season. The Opta supercomputer gave them a 99.3% chance of winning the title. PSV's own captain, Luc de Jong, publicly told the media that 9 points was too much to overcome and that they would just focus on finishing second. The Eredivisie looked completely done. It wasn't. Ajax then lost 4-0 to Utrecht, then drew with 10-man Groningen after conceding in the 99th minute while leading 2-1 with a man advantage, then got hammered 3-0 at home by NEC Nijmegen. PSV, meanwhile, went on an unstoppable run of 7 wins from 7 games. On the final day, Ajax beat Twente 2-0. It didn't matter. PSV beat Sparta Rotterdam 3-1 and claimed the title by a single point. No team in the history of Europe's top 6 leagues, England, Spain, Italy, France, Germany, or the Netherlands, had ever surrendered a 9-point lead with 5 games to go. Coach Francesco Farioli resigned shortly after. Ajax's 125th anniversary season was supposed to be a celebration. Instead, it became the greatest cautionary tale in modern European football. This is still fresh for a lot of people. The 2022-23 Premier League season, Arsenal led the league for 248 days, not a few weeks, not a month, 248 days at the top of the table. At the halfway point of the season, they had 50 points from 19 games, the best first-half record in the club's entire Premier League history. And as late as April 1st, April Fool's Day, they were still sitting 8 points clear of Manchester City. Martin Odegaard was running the show. Bukayo Saka was unplayable. Then came the collapse. 4-1 hammering at the Etihad, a 3-0 home defeat to Brighton. From that commanding 8-point lead, Arsenal went on to collect just 12 points from their final 9 matches. Manchester City won the title. Arsenal finished second and spent the entire summer with the same question every Arsenal fan has been asking for 20 years. How did that happen? A team that led the league for the vast majority of the season, put together historic first-half numbers, and still couldn't finish the job. The reaction said it all. When the title was mathematically gone after a 1-0 defeat to Nottingham Forest, Arteta faced the cameras and admitted, "It is a sad day for us after everything we have done in the season." No excuses, no deflection. Ramsdale was also frank in his reflection on Arsenal's season, admitting the team was disappointed with how it ended, and acknowledging there were games they should have won that ultimately cost them, while also insisting the story of their year was more complex than a simple collapse. And the fans, devastated but divided. Arsenal forums and social media lit up overnight. Some defending the season as genuine progress after years of mediocrity, others pointing out that leading for 248 days and finishing second is its own kind of heartbreak. That is football. No lead is safe. No probability matters until the very last whistle. From Dortmund's undelivered t-shirts to Gerrard's slip to Real Madrid's Galácticos finishing fourth, these aren't just defeats. They are permanent chapters in football history.